It is really my great honor to welcome you to the World Economic Forum's annual meeting in Davos.
Indeed, it is now 56 years since the first meeting here in Davos.
So now our country and the world face much greater risks than it did ever before.
It's clear that we are reaching a time of instability, of imbalances.
Since the fall of the Berlin Wall, more wealth has been created than in any time prior in human history. But in advanced economies, that wealth has accrued to a far narrower share of people.
Over the past 2 decades, a series of crises in finance, health, energy, and geopolitics have laid bare the risks of extreme global integration.
We are standing at the start of a new reality, the contours of which are still to be defined.
A new era has already begun.
When partnerships are shaken, we have to deepen and to seek actively for new partnerships. Saudi Arabia is definitely not a new partner, it's a long-term partner.
What is Vision 2030? It's actually a way to design Saudi Arabia of tomorrow for its people to be supremely happy that they are living in a place that makes them glad to be on earth. That is what it is. That is why the energy of Saudis is what it is today, because they're seeing that come. But when you convert that vision into day-to-day stuff, it's about doing the right things.
Our humanity, our interconnectivity, is what causes thriving populations and citizens. It's what creates thriving dialogue and narratives. And so I'm very proud to say that Saudi puts its people first, not technology first.
For us, Saudi Arabia, we have a strategic location. We have a lot of resources. We could become a bridge economy. We could become a connector economy, where we can connect with Africa, with Europe, with Asia, becoming a logistic hub.
Saudi Arabia introduced many services and industries and led the world and shared with the world best practices. For example, in the oil and gas industry, in the financial services industry, Saudi Arabia among the best countries when it comes to financial services, petrochemical industries, and so on and so forth, and now sport, culture, and tourism.
No country has all of those to 100%. But who can give you the mix that give you optimum access to opportunities while addressing all of those risks? I contend that Saudi Arabia has been able to provide that formula.
I really feel strongly about this, very strongly. Whether it is a business or a government, if you cannot really, particularly in a time where there is a lot of turbulence and a lot of uncertainty, if you cannot take a long-term view and stick to that plan, it is going to be very difficult. Even the most powerful needed to come here and seek dialogue, because there are areas where they just cannot resolve it in their own, no matter how powerful they are. And I think the whole idea today is we need to make sure that we bring more about that dialogue, that cooperation, embracing forums like this, embracing the World Bank, embracing the IMF, which, despite all the noise again, IMF and the World Bank are being embraced today stronger than what it was before. Because uncertainty requires these kinds of institutions to provide support.
The ambitions is indeed global, and His Royal Highness has an investment thesis. The more prosperous the kingdom, the Middle East is, the more prosperous the world is. And it's not a surprise that we fuel 50% of the digital economy in the kingdom, or the region. We fuel 3x the tech force of our neighbors. And as a result, we fuel 50% of the VC funding and the number of unicorns.
We sold the idea that this is a platform not for Saudi Arabia, but everybody. And that's, I think, one of the probably the important successful factors that we have. Today, we say we created the platform, but it is not a Saudi initiative, it's a global initiative. And that's, I think, is also a great way of showing the world how we can bring everybody together for the sake of mining.
I believe there is a world where every country can unlock its economic potential and still keep dialogue open and collaboration.
When confronted with uncertainty, our late founding king, King Abdulaziz, once said, "القوة القوة لا بارك الله بالضعف," which captured a simple yet powerful idea. Facing challenges requires strength and confidence to move forward, especially when conditions are difficult. For there is no virtue in weakness. We cannot sit idle and wait for decisive moments. We cannot keep talking about multiple futures. What future do we want to see? And what are we going to do to get there? Seriously and repetitively. As much as we want to believe this boxing match will end with a knockout blow, reality keeps reminding us and teaching us that this is the full 12 rounds. And it is in this spirit that I'm honored to extend an invitation to you to join us in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, for the World Economic Forum Global Collaboration and Growth Meeting this April, under the patronage of His Royal Highness, Crown Prince and Prime Minister Mohammed bin Salman. This forms part of an ongoing effort that builds on the momentum of the World Economic Forum special meeting held in Riyadh, and more importantly, on the platform Saudi Arabia has become, a global capital of pragmatism and of consequence. At a time when the global economy is confronting long-standing structural challenges, this effort helps move cooperation from intent to outcome by setting clear expectations, anchoring responsibilities, and ultimately making dialogue count. See you all in Jeddah.